This is the Manfrotto Be three-way live advanced travel tripod, and it's not the cheapest travel tripod, it's not the lightest travel tripod, it's not the sturdiest travel tripod. So why the hell would you want to buy one? That's what we're finding out in today's video. Hey friends, Will here. Thanks for joining me again, and today I'm out and about in the beautiful West Sussex countryside putting this new Manfrotto travel tripod through its paces. With the lockdown restrictions being eased in the UK, it's really nice to be back out and about doing some photography and enjoying the woodland. Before we get into the tripod, I do just need to mention that Manfrotto sent me this tripod free of charge for the sake of this review, but this is not a sponsored video and my opinions that I'm going to share with you will be my own. This is completely unbiased. Manfrotto won't see the video before it goes live, so yeah, but obviously worth mentioning. So firstly, let's talk about some of the features that this tripod offers. If you're familiar with the Manfrotto Be range of travel tripods, then a lot of the features of this particular model are going to be quite familiar to you. Let's get it out. So it features aluminium construction for the tubes. It's also got a cast aluminium center bracket, and then a lot of other components on it are quite a rigid plastic, and it's also got several rubberized features such as the carry handle and the feet and a dampener on the center column. This particular version of the tripod has got a payload of 6 kilograms, which is pretty amazing for a travel tripod of this weight and size, and I don't think there's many setups which are going to push those boundaries, so that's really good to know. So without a doubt, the main selling point for this tripod is the three-way fluid drag tripod head, which features the 3 axes, and 2 of them use Manfrotto's fluid drag system, which gives you this really nice range of movement for smooth pan and tilt moves. And then it also has the 3rd axis, which allows you to shoot portrait photography, or have your camera in portrait mode, or also great for vertical video, which you can now actually use pan and tilt movements with your camera in the portrait position for that kind of format. So I think that's great. Build quality of the fluid head is really great. Nice rubberized handles, very smartly designed so it folds down really compactly, and it comes with the Manfrotto 501 base plate, which I've got here on my camera, which is a really common style of base plate, and also supports the Arca Swiss plates. So if you're already using the Arca Swiss system, then you're not going to have any problems with any of your current base plates fitting this tripod head. So unlike a more dedicated video fluid head, this tripod doesn't have adjustable resistance to the fluid axes, which means it's either locked and stationary or it's fluid. However, with using it, it is a pleasant level of resistance that you're getting, and you're definitely able to get some nice smooth pan and tilt movements. The tripod also comes with this fairly high quality padded carry case, which features a zip for access, and you also get a padded shoulder strap, and it comes with an instruction booklet and 2 star keys for adjusting the various parts of the tripod for maintenance and care. The tripod weighs in at 2 kilograms exactly, which I think is really reasonable given that it's got the aluminium construction, and a lot of that weight is actually in this fluid head. It's not the lightest travel tripod by any means, but I would hazard a guess that it's the lightest travel tripod which features a fluid head system. And I think that's a really important differentiator when you're looking at other products, because for video, this gives you so many advantages, and 2 kilograms, I wouldn't have a problem carrying that around all day, whether I was doing photography or video. When the tripod is folded down, It's super compact, just 40 centimeters in length, which I think is really great. And they've achieved that by using the clever reverse leg system, which means that the fluid head folds down and is actually concealed within the length of the legs. And the legs have got 4 extension sections, and with the center column up to the maximum, the tripod's got a maximum height of 151 centimeters. To give you an idea of 151 centimeters, I would say it's kind of a medium-sized tripod. If you wanted to use this for a video interview situation with a standing subject, then you might get away with it. For me, I found that it worked okay. I'm 5'11" and I was using a 35mm lens. It worked for me, but it's gonna depend on the height of your subject and the focal length that you're shooting with. If you were doing live events, for example, and you needed to be set up at the back of a room and get over people's heads, then this is not the tripod for you. But I don't think they're marketing it as such anyway. But yeah, it's a medium height, certainly for me, suitable for most use cases that I'm using it in. As for the stability of the tripod, I've been quite pleased with it. It is worth noting though that it's a travel tripod, and I think we need to be quite pragmatic when we're reviewing the stability of a travel tripod, because it goes without saying that in order for something to be super light and super compact, it needs to have a sacrifice in some way. And I think that's where Manfrotto have done a really good job with this tripod, of balancing the compromises that are required without sacrificing one particular area too much. It is lightweight and it's compact and it's quite stable, and it's not the most of any of those things, but I think it does a great job of all of them. And the legs also have 3 locking positions so that you can adjust the angle of the legs, even going completely flat to the ground or very nearly completely flat to the ground. So you can actually get a bit of extra stability by using different angles for the legs when suitable. Also a great feature for if you're on really uneven ground, you can generally find a sturdy surface and get your camera where you want it to be. And the locking mechanism for moving the legs has actually been specifically designed to be operated left or right-handed, and yeah, it's nice to use and has got a satisfying click when you get it into place. As with most tripods these days, the center column can be completely removed and the head and the end swapped over so that you can do the underslung camera mode if you want to get super close to the ground. Not a feature that I use a great deal, but as another alternative, Manfrotto also sell separately a much shorter center column, which can be used if you want to splay the legs as low as they'll go and get really low to the ground that way. The center column also has a plastic twist to lock, and the center column itself is like a rounded triangular shape to avoid any unnecessary twist when you're moving it up and down. One glaring omission, in my opinion, is the lack of a hook on the bottom of the center column to hang your bag for extra stability. It's not a feature that I use a huge amount, but when I have used it, it's been because I really need it, and I don't think it's something, you know, I don't think it's that big a deal, but I think when the time comes, I will miss it. So we'll just have to see about that. Another nice feature here on the main center bracket of the tripod is the Easy Link, which is a 3/8 thread on the center of the tripod, so you could attach a magic arm or a monitor arm, whatever you want. You can add some extra accessories there, which I think is a nice touch. As for price, this tripod has a recommended retail price of £249 at the time of recording this video. However, I have seen it on offer in a few places, including Manfrotto's website, for £187. So it's worth checking out and see if you can get a bargain at the moment. As always, I'll put links in the description to the video so you can check it out and also look at the spec. I have been really enjoying using this tripod as a hybrid shooter, shooting both video and photos, and often as a solo shooter working on my own. I think Manfrotto have done a great job of balancing the priorities of the tool itself without sacrificing any one particular part too much, and they've packed it into a product which has got the same great build quality that we've all come to expect from Manfrotto products. As I said earlier in the video, it isn't the lightest travel tripod, but it is still light. And it isn't the cheapest tripod, definitely not, but it's still a great price for the features and build quality that you're getting. It's not the most stable tripod in the world, albeit for a travel tripod, it is pretty stable. I think it's all of these factors that mean if you're shooting video, as I am, then those trade-offs become less important for the features that this tripod can add to your workflow. So let's just quickly summarize some of the pros for this tripod. Super compact, nice and lightweight. The fluid head system I think is absolutely amazing. Great build quality. Cons for the product, I think that the missing hook on the center column is a shame, not a deal breaker though really in any way. The lack of resistance adjustment on the fluid head, again it's a bit of a shame but not a deal breaker. Obviously you can be the judge of that for your own workflow. One other thing I would say is on a more video centric fluid tripod head, you would have two things. You would have the adjustment in the fluid drag system, and you would have normally a slightly larger base plate which would allow you more freedom to move forwards and backwards to balance your camera on the actual tripod. And those two things combined and when dialed in would mean that when not locked off, you can pretty much let go of your camera and it will pretty much stay where you put it. And then when you want to then move your camera to do like a tilt movement, you would be able to do the tilt, let go, and it would stay. Now I'm using this with the Sony a7 III, and this is fairly chunky, the Sigma 24-70 f2.8 art lens, and you don't have any front and back positioning on the base plate, and because you can't adjust the resistance, once you let go of this, it will just, you know, the weight of the lens will take that down. So if there was a bit of adjustment in that base plate, you'd be able to slide the camera back and just have a bit more of a balanced setup. I know that this is picky because I know exactly why Manfrotto have done what they've done. It's to keep the weight and the size of this as small as possible. So this is just one of those sacrifices, and I don't think it's, you know, that big a deal really, just something to mention. One little con about this tripod head, which I think it's worth mentioning, is the position of the base plate locking nut, which is just here. Now on both of my cameras and on most other cameras I've used, that means that you can't change your battery without taking the camera off the tripod. It's a minor niggle, but yet I think, you know, why couldn't they have just put it on the other side? It's also quite a small plastic knob that they've used for this, so if you tighten it up, and you know, as we like to make sure our cameras are secure, it can be a little bit fiddly to undo. Not always, just occasionally I've found that it's a little bit tricky to undo. Maybe if it was slightly larger, it would have just given you a little bit more leverage to undo it. But I guess that would have got in the way even more of the battery compartment. So that is the Manfrotto Be-Free 3-way live advanced travel tripod. I think it's great. I'm definitely going to continue using this tripod. It's going to become my main daily driver tripod, both for in the studio and for out and about. It ticks a lot of boxes for me, so I think that's great. As I said before, there'll be links down in the description, so if you want to pick one of these up or just find out more information about it, then you can find the links down below. So if you like this video, me talking about photography, filmmaking and my general journey as I continue to learn photography and filmmaking, then consider subscribing to the channel. I make regular videos talking about different subjects and tutorials. If you like the video, hit the like button, consider subscribing to the channel, and yeah, that's everything for today. So other than that, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.